Hello guys, welcome back to our Livewire crash course. So in the last video we discussed about actions in Livewire in a simple way, and we created a simple game, right, where we can increment, decrement or reset the counter. So in this video what we are going to learn is we are going to learn about data binding. So if you are from any other JS framework like Vue.js or React.js, you may already have idea, or if you have explored filament too, and if you sometimes if you have checked the how the filament handles the text input or any other forms, you can also see the same type of structure because filament is all based on library, right? So now, so for that, let me start with making a new component data binding. I think make livewire. It's only make livewire. My bad. Right. So now I can see my data binding form and livewire.data binding right here it is. So I think I was using greeting before. So if I go to type.php, it's welcome, and if I see here instead of livewire greeting or below that, let me just comment this one. So now I want to use livewire and the file name is data binding. So if I go to my data binding folder and let me create one root, so everything should be inside a same root, right? So p hello from data binding component. Oh my, I misspelled binding. Perfect. And the comment is all not working. Let me just remove that for now. Okay. So now what we are going to do is let me create a form, right? Okay, it is already suggesting me that form, and let's say input. Okay, and button click. Okay, that's it. Thank you. So here, let me just remove this. Let me just make you sure that everything is in pure world version in pure HTML. So let me just remove this also. So now, if you can see, I have just what I have did is I have a input text with placeholder and the design and the simple button with name, change name, right? Nothing else. So now, first of all, what we are going to do is we have already learned about how we can create an action when we click on a button in the last video, right? So in this video, let's suppose interior, we have interior name. So now I want it to be like we need at least one name, right? So public dollar name, and let's say for now its default value is code daily, right? I don't need count. So now the main question is how we can bind this name with our blade name here, right? If we in a normal case, what we used to do, we used to get the name and then we used to get in this name the request, right? So similarly, to bind any names, we just had a modifier that we just need to use wire model. So this will automatically bind that particular variable this name, and now this name is same. How? If you refresh here, you can see the code daily here. If I refresh with livewire and refresh here, you can see livewire. That's it. This is how we can bind the name. Even though if I go here and let me just print name, yeah, it's livewire. Now let's try to create this button as an action and submit the form and change the name. If we used to do without a form, what we can do is wire click, right? click equals to then pass the method name here and pass this value as an attribute. What you can do is like if I have a name public function change name. So for now this is only change name, right? So it does not do anything. Change name. You can see change name and change name are reflected everywhere. Perfect. So now if I need to get this, what I can do is document dot get element by id, and I will pass that id name, and I can also get that. But this is a long way, right? So now I want to submit this form. So first thing that I need to do is type submit, and let me remove this, and let me make my form to be submittable. So that is wire submit prevent. So what does it do? When my form is submitted, it will call the change name method, right? If I refresh here, change name, changed name. Why? Because here if I, whenever it is clicked, I have this, but I don't need to do anything now. Why? Because name property will be automatically reflected. Suppose if Subham Sharma, change name, you can see Subham Sharma, right? Code daily, change name, code daily. This is how we can send them the messages, right? So method part. Now the case is, suppose let me add one select here, and let's say options, options or option, right? I forgot. Let's say wire model. uh, I'll just say it lang, nothing else for now. Okay, so if I refresh here, I have language, right? These three things and the variable, right? So now I have used this lang. So now let me just public $lang equals to nothing. It's null or empty string, or let's say null at first, right? So now I also want to print lang here and then name here. If I refresh here, $lang, my bad, I'm just printing in comma, $lang and $name here. If you see here, I am getting Livewire, but it's quite confusing because both are Livewire, right? Let's say B4, B3, and change name. I only get B3. Why? Even though this Livewire is selected here, right? See? Okay, maybe some issues. So let me try to make this Laravel is selected. Let me try change name, or let's say 10. No. 12. No. It's not working. Why? Have you added the wire model? Yes. Let me try to change this to PHP. Oh, PHP 12 is working. Laravel 12 is also working. Livewire 12 is also working. But if I refresh here and change it, the value is not reflected because we have set this lang to null. So it now whatever we add is a selected, but since we have binded that value to this, it will not work. So if I do here PHP, sorry, it's capital PHP. If I do here PHP and refresh here, now you can see PHP Livewire. If I do, yes, now it's working. So the next idea is, suppose now the problem is like you have a lot of languages, but if our source of data is here, because I have the languages here and I don't want to set the default value from here, then what you can do is you can make it null. There is a modifier dot fill. What does this do? If you see here, now it will make the default value to be selected. I mean, now it will work as an HTML. Suppose now if I selected, make Livewire selected and refresh here, yes. If I change them, or see, you can see how it is reflecting, right? So if you want the HTML default values, then we can always add the fill method. So this depends on you. Either you want to give the default value in your data binding component or the blade file. But the best way is how and where is your source of data, right? If you have all the data that should be displayed in the blade in your component file, it will be better here. If not, this approach is better here, right? So, so this is what I want to discuss in this video. So in the next video, we'll work for the validation in Livewire.